Here are 3 pros and 3 cons that you should consider before moving to Lusby, Maryland. What's up, everybody? My name is Rob Scow. I'm a realtor down here in Southern Maryland with eXp Realty, and the whole goal of this channel is to help make your move to Southern Maryland so much easier. So if that's something you're going to do, use that contact information below. Call me, text me, and I'll be happy to help any way that I possibly can. So let's just jump right into it. Like I said, there are some pros and cons to moving to Lusby, and I'm going to jump right into it with the cons. The first con that catches a lot of people off guard when they're looking at Lusby is while the lots look big, especially in places like the Ranch Club, the yards themselves are actually pretty sloped. I see it all the time in Lusby where someone is thinking they're going to get a full half-acre lot, and while it is technically a half acre, a lot of it is not quote-unquote usable. The backyards tend to slope a lot in some of those places, especially in the Ranch Club, and it can make it so you may not be able to use that full amount of acreage for what you want to do. Now, con number 2 is if you settle on Lusby because it's in your budget and you're commuting to DC, unfortunately, that's going to be a pretty far commute. For the most part, you're looking at least an hour and 15 minutes to get to DC, which is doable if you're only going a few times a week. But if it's a daily drive up to DC from Lusby, it probably isn't the best option. You should be looking in places like Prince Frederick, Huntingtown, Dunkirk, North Beach, Chesapeake Beach, or places like that if you're really looking to commute to DC. And the third con that I can really think of is, again, it's related to traffic. It's the traffic to Patuxent River Naval Air Station. A lot of people choose Lusby because of the relatively inexpensive property prices compared to other areas in St. Mary's County. But with those property prices come a little bit of a hassle. And that hassle is the commute to Pax. Pax River is one of the biggest employers in the area. And for you to get to Pax, you're looking at, on an average day, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. On a day with traffic, like a lot of traffic, where the Solomon's Bridge gets backed up and you're sitting in lights on 235, it can be every bit of 45 minutes. Now, with people returning to work, this is becoming more of an issue, but if you're someone that's fortunate enough to still telework, maybe it's not that big of a deal. Now, it's not all bad in Lusby, and one of the biggest pros about finding a house in Lusby, of course, is the price. Compared to other areas in the St. Mary's County area, Lusby has some of the lowest priced properties that are still close to places like California, Solomon's, and things like that. You don't really have to go far removed from like the center of civilization in St. Mary's County to find good houses or good priced houses in Lusby. Now, on average, they are a little bit smaller than some other houses in St. Mary's County or in even Calvert County too. And the lots themselves can be a little bit smaller than some of the neighborhoods in St. Mary's and Calvert County. But for the most part, a lot of people feel like Lusby is a good bang for your buck when you're looking for homes down here in Southern Maryland. Pro number 2, and this is one that a lot of people overlook, is the proximity to Solomon's Island. There's not many areas in Southern Maryland where you can go and there be multiple bars and restaurants in one walkable area, and Solomon's is one of those. When you're in Lusby, you're maybe 5 to 10 minutes away from that, depending on where you are in Lusby. So if you prioritize bar hopping, if you prioritize going out to restaurants and just walking around like a small town, Lusby may be great because you're close, you're paying better prices than you would if you were in Solomon's itself, but you're still able to go and enjoy that waterfront and that kind of nightlife scene. And pro number 3 about moving to Lusby is you can find different communities that have waterfront access. I'm thinking of places like the Ranch Club has their own private beaches and with access to the Chesapeake Bay. They also have ponds and things like that too. I'm thinking of Cove Point and Long Beach and places like that where you have access to either Chesapeake Bay waterfront or even ponds that are in the community as well. So if you're looking for that type of neighborhood, I've really found Lusby to kind of be the center of those types of neighborhoods that really compared to other areas in Southern Maryland and especially in Calvert and St. Mary's County. So look, this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you have any other questions about moving to Lusby, use the contact information below. Call me, text me, leave a comment, and I'll be happy to help any way that I possibly can. Look, I really appreciate you watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.